Okay, so get this. We're going deep today on a case that is honestly both heartbreaking and super mysterious.
Yeah.
The death of Shanquella Robinson.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
Have you heard about this case?
A little bit. Yeah, it's awful.
It's really sad. So picture this.
Mm-hmm.
A young woman goes on vacation with friends and tragically never makes it home.
Oh, wow.
But the stories surrounding her passing, like let's just say there are more twists and turns than like a whole season of your favorite TV show.
Really? Wow. Okay, I'm definitely intrigued.
You should be. This one is really something.
So what's so strange about it? What makes it a mystery?
Well, that's what we're here to uncover, right? But I think what immediately grabbed my attention was how right from the start,
Yeah.
the pieces just didn't fit. You know, like there's this initial narrative, but then all these facts emerge.
Right.
And it's just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what always gets me hooked, those little details that just don't add up.
Exactly. So first, let me introduce you to Shanquella. She was a successful entrepreneur from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Owned a hair braiding business, loved by her family and community. I mean, really, her future looked incredibly bright.
So she was really like putting it all together and then...
It's so sad, right?
Yeah, that's really tragic.
In October 2022, she decided to take a vacation to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with 6 of her friends.
Okay, a nice little getaway.
Right, just a fun trip with friends, and it should have been filled with sun and good times.
Right, of course.
But it turned into a nightmare.
Oh, gosh, so what happened?
Well, initially, her friends claimed it was just alcohol poisoning.
Oh, I see.
You know, sadly, it happens sometimes people on vacation, maybe letting loose a bit, things get out of hand.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening.
But then the autopsy report came back, and that's where things took a sharp turn.
Oh, so it wasn't alcohol.
Not even close.
Wow. Okay, what did it say?
So imagine you're the investigator, you're expecting to see, typical evidence of alcohol poisoning. But instead, the report reveals a severe spinal cord injury and something called atlas luxation.
Atlas what? What is that?
It's basically a dislocation at the very top of the spine.
Oh my gosh, so she had a broken neck.
Basically, yeah. And those are not the kind of injuries you see with alcohol poisoning.
Right. No.
That's immediately raised red flags.
I bet, yeah. It sounds like foul play to me.
And if that wasn't enough, a video surfaced online, turning this case into a viral sensation.
What was on the video?
It showed Shanquella being brutally beaten by one of her friends, while the others just, some stood around and some actually filmed the assault.
Are you serious? They filmed it. That's awful.
I know, it's incredibly disturbing on so many levels. Just the sheer brutality of the attack, Shanquella's obvious inability to defend herself, and the fact that some in the group chose to document it rather than help.
Yeah, just watching it happen instead of helping.
Right, and it's just heartbreaking to think about,
It really makes you question those friends,
Yeah.
Like, what kind of people are they?
That's exactly what investigators were trying to figure out. And at this point, the case was far from your typical vacation tragedy.
Right.
Both the FBI and Mexican authorities launched investigations.
Wow, so it was a big deal.
Huge. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Mexican prosecutors classified the case as femicide.
Femicide? I've never heard of that.
It basically means they're treating it as a gender-based killing.
Oh.
Which actually carries much heavier legal weight in Mexico than just a regular, homicide or something like that.
Wow, so they're taking this very seriously.
Oh, absolutely. And they even issued an arrest warrant for one of the friends.
Oh, wow, so someone is in big trouble.
It seems that way. But here's where things get even weirder.
Weirder? What could be weirder than all of this?
Okay, so hold on, because now we have a real head-scratcher.
Okay, lay it on me.
Mexican police records show that a doctor was called to treat Shanquella at the villa.
At the villa, okay.
Right, and the records state she was treated for dehydration for several hours.
Dehydration. But she had a broken neck.
That's the thing, right? If that's true, how does that even line up with the severe spinal injuries found in the autopsy?
Right, that makes no sense.
The timeline feels completely off, and it raises a lot of questions about what really happened in those crucial hours before her death.
It sounds like they're trying to cover something up,
It really does. And what's frustrating is that despite all this evidence, the autopsy, the video, the arrest warrant, the public outcry, no arrests have been made.
No arrests. Seriously. But they have a warrant.
I know, it's crazy, right?
So why haven't they arrested anyone?
Well, this is where the complexities of international law come into play.
Oh, I see.
Extradition. The process of bringing someone back to face charges in another country can be a very lengthy and complicated process.
Oh, so there's a lot of red tape.
tons involving legal hurdles and diplomatic negotiations. It's not as simple as just going and getting them.
Right. It's not like in the movies.
Not at all. Meanwhile, this whole case blew up on social media.
Right.
Hashtags like Justice for Shanquella were trending everywhere, and the online community was demanding answers and accountability.
That's the power of social media, right?
Absolutely. And it really showed how social media can amplify a call for justice, bringing international pressure to bear.
Exactly. And hopefully that pressure leads to some action.
We can only hope.
Right.
But through all of this turmoil, you have Shanquella's family, particularly her mother and sister, fighting tirelessly for answers.
It's got to be so hard for them. I can't even imagine.
I know. It's just unimaginable. And they've been organizing vigils, holding press conferences, working with lawyers, just constantly pushing for justice.
That's amazing. Their strength and determination in the face of such a horrific loss is truly remarkable.
It really is. And there's a quote from Shanquella's mother that really stuck with me.
What did she say?
She said, "I'm not going to let this go. I'm going to fight for my daughter."
Wow. Powerful words.
Really powerful. It speaks volumes about their commitment to getting justice for their daughter.
I really hope they get it.
Me too. So where does that leave us today? We have a case full of unanswered questions. A young life tragically cut short, conflicting accounts, a brutal video, an international investigation seemingly stalled, and a family desperate for justice.
It's a lot to unpack.
It really is.
And I guess the big question is what happens now, Will anyone be held accountable?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And I think this case really highlights the need for accountability even across international borders.
Definitely. And it also raises questions about how we can better protect citizens traveling abroad.
Absolutely.
Like, what can we do to prevent something like this from happening again?
It's a tough question, but it's one we need to be asking, and I think this case forces us to ask. Could this case lead to changes in how such incidents are handled in the future?
It would be amazing if something good could come out of this tragedy,
I agree, and if you've been as captivated by this deep dive as I have, I urge you to keep digging, keep seeking information, and support Shanquella's family in their quest for justice.
Totally. I think everyone should do what they can to help.
Her story deserves to be heard, and hopefully her case will lead to some positive change.
I hope so, too.
All right, well, that's our deep dive for today.
Wow, that was heavy.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in, but important nonetheless.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing this with me.
Of course, and thanks to everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.